Odyssey is one of the oldest and most iconic stories known to man. I mean, it was being told by the traveling bards for hundreds of years purely orally before Homer actually wrote it down. So when we all heard that one of the most prominent directors of all time is making a movie on this, we all lost our goddamn minds. I'm of course talking about Christopher Nolan's latest movie, The Odyssey. We all know Nolan's obsession with IMAX, but this time he went above and beyond. A special new IMAX camera was made just for this because this is the first film to be ever shot completely on an IMAX camera. This is quite a cinematic achievement and great news for me because I live in India. There are no IMAX screens here. Coming back to the story though, Homer wrote two books. The first one is called Iliad and the second is called Odyssey. Keen-eyed viewers will notice that that's the name of the movie. So since this movie is based on the second book, let's talk a bit about the first book. So if you've not seen the story somehow, you'll be able to get some context on what's gonna happen in this movie. Don't worry, there's no spoilers here, just basic stuff, and the movie actually starts from where I'm gonna end. Anyways, what happens in Iliad? I'm gonna cover just a small portion of the story for you all to understand the Odyssey well. So some Greek cities and a city called Troy, which is a city in Turkey, I believe, were at war. Why were they at war? Well, I'll tell you. So Paris, the prince of Troy at that time, eloped with Helen, the queen of Sparta, wife to Menelaus, obviously the king of Sparta. This triggered the Great Trojan War and basically the whole Iliad poem. You heard that right, Iliad and Odyssey are poems, not storybooks. They're like both roughly 15,000 lines, which is hard for my mind to comprehend that the bards at that time sang the whole thing. They had that thing memorized. Anyways, Menelaus had a brother Agamemnon who was the king of Mycenae, which was the biggest and the wealthiest kingdom in all of Greece. So Agamemnon, along with the big army, decided to attack Troy. Now Helen was Menelaus' wife and Menelaus did obviously join the war, but Agamemnon led the charge because Agamemnon was quite literally the biggest ruler in all of Greece. While the brothers were recruiting people for the war, they wanted to recruit Odysseus the most. Odysseus was the king of Ithaca, a relatively small kingdom but definitely a very prominent one. Now why did they want to recruit Odysseus the most? That's because he was extremely cunning and sharp, quite literally the smartest Greek in all of Greek heroes. Odysseus, like every other king, had to follow orders from Agamemnon because, you know, he's the strongest ruler. So Agamemnon sent his smartest commandeer, Palamedes, to Odysseus. Odysseus knew that if he was to join the war, he would not be able to come back home for a long time. And he had just had a newborn baby, so he really did not want to go to war. So he played a trick. He feigned madness by plowing the field with an ox and a donkey and sowing the sand with salt. But Palamedes was very sharp himself. He saw through the ruse. He placed Odysseus' newborn child, Telemachus, right in the way of the plow, and Odysseus obviously did not want to harm his child, so he changed his path, completely proving that he is in fact sane and still has his mind. And now he needs to go to the war. He cannot just refuse the order of Agamemnon. So Agamemnon, Menelaus, Odysseus, along with a lot of other great warriors, went to attack Troy. But Troy's wall is impenetrable. They just couldn't get into it. They tried to break it down, they waited it over and over again, but they just could not get into it. So they lied outside it for 10 years, stealing livestock, establishing a proper military camp, raiding the allied towns and whatnot, but Troy just did not want to open the goddamn gate. So after 10 years of not seeing the war go anywhere, Odysseus comes up with an amazing plan. He tells everyone to make a big, beautiful wooden hollow horse as a gift or as a peace treaty for the Troy. So everyone did just that. They made the statue and left it on the beach outside Troy for them to come and collect it. They also left Sinon, the only soldier, to be there. Everyone else sailed away. Sinon was there to tell the Troys that this is a gift, a peace treaty, please accept it, we are not at war anymore. The Troys killed Sinon, but they did take the horse and put it inside their kingdom and erected it to celebrate their victory. But here comes Odysseus' genius plan. The horse was actually filled with Greek soldiers, including Odysseus and Menelaus. So the Greek soldiers just waited it to be night, climbed out of the horse, and stealthily took out some of the Troy guards. They managed to open the gates from the inside and let the main army come inside, and also Agamemnon. Yeah, the main Greek army didn't actually sail away. They were hiding on a nearby island, Tenedos. So the Greeks take out the Trojans and won the war, which came to be known as the Trojan War. Don't worry, for anyone who hasn't watched the movie, there is no spoilers here. The movie actually starts off from here because now Odysseus and the entire Greek army has to come back home, and that's what the movie is about. Not the entire army, but mainly Odysseus coming back home. But they'll be facing a lot of challenges because they've broken some core divine rules that will be explained in the movie, so I'm not gonna explain them here. Now let's talk about the positives of the movie because there are a lot of them. I've always believed that Nolan's filmography is so special not because of the concepts or the music or the visuals, but because they're able to capture human emotions extremely well. Like, not to say his concepts, music, or visuals are bad in any manner. I mean, Cornfield Chase is one of the most iconic pieces of music ever written. But I feel what makes a Nolan movie special is the most relatable thing a human can relate to, which is emotion. Like, you can't understand how it feels to be a guy in a dream, in another dream, in another dream. That's extremely foreign to us. That's cool, but not relatable. But that feeling of being away from your family for so long and doing quite literally anything to get back to them is what makes that movie special. I'm talking about Inception, by the way, and if you didn't understand that, then you are not a good person. And this movie has also done that extremely well. That tension of how there are suitors waiting to marry Penelope, Odysseus' wife, if he doesn't return in time is entailed extremely well. Visually, the movie is stunning. I'm an absolute sucker for wide shots, and there are a lot of them in this movie, and they're all beautifully framed. The background score, I think, excels so well. There are a lot of distinct locations in the movie, and they all carry a different feel, and the background score justifies it extremely well. It can be intense but also soothing, it can be scary but also hopeful. It's hard to put in words unless you've heard it yourself, but it just works. What else we got here? Oh yeah, the acting performances. Holy shit. Everyone, and I mean everyone, did a fabulous job in the movie. But one person deserves that standout applause, and that is Matt Damon. This might be his finest performance till date, and I mean that sincerely. He absolutely killed it in the movie. I mean, this was quite literally the epitome of perfect casting. He captures that depression and that anxiety of a man being away from his family so well. I mean, whenever he was in the frame, I was just smiling the whole time, being impressed by his acting. Anne Hathaway also killed it in the movie. I mean, she was on par with Matt Damon for sure. Tom Holland was pretty good throughout the movie as well. There were some scenes where I felt like I was seeing Peter Parker instead of Telemachus, but that could just be a me problem. It's time to finally address the controversies, the doubts people had about the movie. I mean, I've even heard some people say that this could be Nolan's first flop. I don't know why we are doubting him like that. He's yet to miss. I mean, he could miss, but he hasn't yet. But if you all didn't know, movie does carry quote-unquote modern English. I was unable to use two hands there. Just quote-unquote, alright? Words like mommy, daddy, let's go were present in the movie, and a lot of people were worried that it could break the immersion, because when you see a medieval style of movie, you expect a certain type of English. Now, me personally, I didn't care about it too much. It did feel weird to me as well, I won't lie, but it doesn't really matter in the context of the movie. It's Nolan's choice to make the dialogues understandable or more familiar for the modern audience. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that it feels more like a choice rather than a mistake. If you think about it, English wasn't even around when this story was formed, so just saying. Overall, this movie was a cinematic brilliance. I loved every aspect of it from start to finish. I wasn't bored at all and just had an amazing time throughout the experience. The first half, I'll say, felt a bit weaker than the second half, but that's just because the climax is absolute cinema. The build up to it is done really well, and the climax was the strongest part of the movie, hands down. I'm thinking I'm gonna rank every movie I cover on my channel in a tier list, so I mean, after all this talk, do you even need to guess where I'm placing it? S tier, brother, for sure. Go watch it if you haven't. Why did I do this so much?